There's nothing like cracking that cellophane and pulling that record out. It just smells great.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Unlike any other.
With your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
Man, this stuff rocks.
Hey, this is Joe.
This is James. We're from the Mayor, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour, the illest show ever.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Hour, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
On today's podcast, I bring to you Joe of Ice Nine Kills and James Ryan, formerly of Porches, and these guys are in the band called the Mayor. Absent today is, of course, Mike Abiuso, and I hope I said that right. Is it Abiuso? Is that correct?
Abiuso.
Yeah, I probably butchered it, but that's okay.
Sorry, I think he's been dealing with something along those lines for most of his life.
Yeah.
It's not a good podcast unless I butcher somebody's name. That is for sure. So these guys have a new album, EP, should say. This is their sophomore release. It's called Live at the Acropolis. This isn't a live album, folks, and we're going to be getting to talk about all this stuff. So, how you guys doing?
I'm good, man. How are you? How was your holidays?
I hate Christmas. It's a.
All right.
I do kind of look forward to New Year's, but Thanksgiving's my day, man. Thanksgiving is my day.
Yeah,
watch out, and I will cut somebody's toe off for a leg of turkey. So, how did this band come together, guys? What got the ball rolling?
Well, it started Mike, Kev, and myself. I think this was right before he joined Venetia Fair.
2011, maybe.
Yeah, I think 11. I was home in East Hampton for a winter break from school, and they were there too. And there's absolutely nothing to do, and we always enjoyed the same music in this metal vein, although we were pretty picky about it. So it was cool to have two dudes who already knew. Two other guys who already knew what we were aiming to make. And so it started there, and then Joe and Mike became good friends through their band, the Venetia Fair, and toured a ton. I mean, if Joe wants to go in. And then actually we did have their lead singer, Ben, guest vocals on the first EP as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mike had a place in New Jersey. I actually completely forgot about that.
Yeah, and I played. That was the first thing I played on as well.
Yes, and that was the first time Joe played with us.
Yeah.
What's the nucleus, though, guys, that still keeps this band together and moving forward right along? Because I know you guys got different projects, but what keeps it together to stay as the Mayor?
I think just loving doing it, right? I mean,
it seems to me that I start hearing from Mike about the Mayor every time that everyone's a little bored.
This is true. I've regarded this many times as the epitome of a side project. But it's so rare that I find people who are able to be on the same page about this kind of music, especially.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't think of creating this stuff if Kev wasn't there playing drums with us. He comes in the studio or whatever, and it's just just madness, so clean. And then he's like, "Oh man, I'm so rusty." And I'm just I'm like, dude, I know guys who play every day that aren't as clean as you, And meanwhile, the dude is also a cook. He flies jets commercially. I'll never not mention that.
I know. I was gonna say it too. The last time I think I actually saw Kev in person, he just hit me up because he happened to be in Phoenix the same day I was, and then he came out to the show.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played in a band. I also fly jets too.
Right. Yeah.
NBD.
Yep.
How excited are you guys to have this second EP live at the Acropolis out right now, guys? How excited are you to have this out to let everybody hear this new music from you all?
Very, very excited. I mean, as always with, any release, right? Being stoked about it. This one though is, it's made me want to make more immediately. Like it was, we definitely kind of lit a fire because I mean, God knows we could take our time, but yeah, this I think we're all very, very happy with it, and actually, even if it's still fairly small circle right now, the reception is cool to see the people that enjoy this type of music are enjoying it.
Yeah, this is a different flavor. I like this. It's cool. I've always said, man, breath of fresh air is when they come along, take them and listen to them, and just absorb it and keep listening to it. It may take you 4 or 5 times to listen to it and get it, but yeah, it's cool. I like it. I like all the, I caught the noise, like all the noise in it.
Yeah. For me, it was kind of like, they actually wrote all these songs before I had ever heard them, like Kev, James, and Mike together. And then Mike asked me if I would want to lay down bass on a few of them. And that's when I actually heard them. But like, they're fucking awesome songs. So I was like super stoked on it. And I like jammed it pretty exclusively for like a month when I heard it. And lucky enough that like, everyone was down to kind of work together, and I was able to actually help put it out through the label that I co-own, Kill Iconic Records, as well. So I'm super stoked on like multiple facets of this, like just to be involved in the project again.
For sure.
Like really
I feel
exciting.
the exact same way, Joe. For real.
And then like also just to be helping or part of a team that's like, making this available to the world, and like it brings such a cool new flavor and edge to, a label that we're trying to like cultivate, so it's really exciting.
For sure. Were you I think when Mike started giving you a shout, you might have been on tour with Ice Nine Kills. I'm not positive.
Yeah, I was. And I actually, funny enough that you mentioned that, because I remember first hearing the songs, and I swear to God, I'm not making this up, but John, what we were talking about before, at that show in the green room. So the show that you were at was the first time I think I heard
Wireless. Yeah. Dude, I'm not taking away from this interview, but like I said, I was so happy I got to see Ice Nine Kills. I got to check that off my little box of bands I wanted to see. And I said this a long time ago. Yeah, man. Motionless and White's my band. I like them a lot too. And I said to everybody, and I'm not knocking no other bands out there. I'm not knocking the mayor. I'm not knocking anybody out there whatsoever.
You don't knock the mayor.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. But I said, watch out for Ice Nine Kills. I said, because they're due. They're due for something huge. And then all of a sudden, here's freaking Metallica with Ice Nine Kills. I went, I told you. No one listens.
Very cool.
Yes, bro.
No one listens to me. It's like I don't know music at all. So I said, okay.
Well, thank you.
So you was jamming these songs in the green room at the Appalachian Wireless Arena to the mayor. That's so awesome.
That's cool.
I actually specifically remember like getting those files, and that's really crazy.
That's rad.
What was everybody saying? Like, what the hell you doing, man? We gotta get ready for our show. This is our show.
Oh man, I got like 8 hours of nothing to do every day. No one's checking in on me.
Man, it's like need a wellness check. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, this is what happens.
This is what happens right here all day on tour.
Exactly.
This is what keeps me sane.
Oh, that's pretty bad. It's like he's a member of Ice Nine Kills. They're like, what am I doing? Do you guys think that the band would have their second EP out at this point due to the setback of the pandemic and plus everything that you guys do, or do you think you would have more out right now?
I think this was kind of the catalyst, the quarantine for sure. I mean, like we'd kicked around ideas a little bit But being everyone's schedule, we weren't getting together, you know what I mean? But this, yeah, I mean, the slowdown of pandemic, as well as, Mike having behind the curtains studio, place is awesome. You could just walk in there and it's like, turn it on and you're ready to start recording. So getting in the room like that with those guys with that amount of time was, I think that, it might not be here if we didn't have that time to do it. And also, I mean, a lot of that, I felt like shit for a lot of that for the quarantine,
Yeah.
So a lot of this did come out of a place of stress, and it was a big release, in terms of that energy.
Joe, you
that's
mentioned
incredibly unique, right? I think everyone was stressed out during that time.
Yeah, I think everyone created, like, there's so much music that was created during the pandemic, like so much sick shit.
For sure.
'cause
And there's so
everyone's on the
much of it,
same
people, yeah, right. And people expect a lot of like music to just like come out when it's done. But like I'm sitting on a ton of music. There's so many people sitting
Yeah.
on music that was created then.
So
Yeah.
And
much.
it's still not, it's not like it's out yet. You know what I mean? So I think we all have a lot to look forward to.
But here's the thing, though. You guys are musicians. You know this question. When I ask this, you're going to know the answer to it in a heartbeat. But are we going to see the light of day of those songs? Because you guys could be in a different mindset when you're working on a new album and go, nah, let's save them for another time. I mean, are we really going to get to see them? Or are they going to be just one-offs or what?
I think we will. I understand what you're saying, too.
I am the king of trashing songs. I get bored
The
of them
dusty hard drive.
immediately, and I'm like, this sucks now. I hate it. It's been 5 days since I first heard it, and now I'm over it. So like, I know exactly what you mean, but who knows? I guess it's a pretty personal question for like a lot of different artists and how they treat their shit. Like some people are super prolific and will write 200 songs over the course of a year, and then yeah, you're probably not going to hear those, right? But like the guys that sit and plug away at the same album for 2 years straight, like, yeah, you're going to hear those songs for sure.
Right. Yeah, that's wild, right? The even whatever 5 days, like you were saying, to 1 year mindset.
Yeah.
Right.
And like I can write music quickly, but like lyrically is really where I'm
Right,
like, do I
that's
agree
always
with this? Do I give a fuck about what I'm even saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you don't, how can you expect anyone to, if that's, I don't know. The therapeutic aspect of it is sort of where I put it. I'm like, okay, this is more of a therapy song. This was for me. You know what I mean? Like, just to do it.
And there were so many, bands working together and doing songs together during the pandemic. I thought was actually pretty cool. But now it's time to go. It's time to get back out there and do your shit, as I say.
Right. Joe, I saw when I was just watching your Instagram, whatever, it was months ago, but I think you had gotten like a little kind of like mobile rig together for yourself.
Yeah.
As I'm sitting here with my little duet,
Which
which is sweet. Throwing it in a bag, like
Yeah,
I'm in love with that. But I was looking at your stuff, and were you messing around while you were on tour with that? Like when you were messing with
a little
bass
bit
ideas, or
the issue with that stuff, I did a little, but I never have my basses or guitars with me during the day because like our techs are working on it, and I just, to be honest with you, I don't usually even write with a physical instrument in my hand anymore. No, not really. But I have a bunch, and I think I actually, if I'm remembering correctly, the first song that I tracked for this EP I did on tour, not at my home studio. So I'm pretty sure I did. I just tracked it, but I had written it a bunch. I actually think I wrote it on like an acoustic guitar that was just on the bus.
Word.
And then I like
kicking around.
Yeah.
Why did it take you guys over a year to put this together, the track listing, what took so long? Just for everybody was not all together and out doing their own thing, or why?
Everyone doing their own thing. I mean, especially, Mike runs sessions like 8 days a week. You know what I mean? He's in the studio with other people's projects, mixing, mastering, recording, engineering, as well as doing all sorts of marketing and linking up, like, with Kill Iconic and stuff like that. Like, then Kev, like I said, he's a father, a husband, and a commercial airline pilot. So, like, there's
living the American dream.
Yeah, yes, he is. All of which are American dreams. Joe's on tour all the time. I have my own private business. Very important. No, I'm
It sounds so cryptic. You sound like you're a drug dealer right now.
Oh,
I'm very important, guys. Yeah. In an interview, I'll talk to you. Goodbye.
Get the shit on the road. Sorry about that. That's awesome.
So the linking up. I mean, like, the whole being remote too. I don't know. It's true. I mean, I would have I suppose I would have loved to have had stuff out sooner. I mean, most people do, right? But I don't know. In a way, I just feel like it's right on time.
Would you say Live at the Acropolis is more of a heavier, more powerful album than the previous EP, There Will Be No Miracles Here? Is this heavier from you guys, you think, or right on the status quo?
I think the production is a ton better on this one. But I think it's a logical follow-up.
I would agree.
Feels
right. Feels natural.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool listening to both of them, both the EPs now kind of next to each other. I'm definitely brewing ideas for what a full length could feel and sound like. And now we've got a workflow. It's something that I'm definitely interested in writing.
That's going to be my next question. Are we going to eventually get a full length from you guys? Is there going to be anything off these two EPs that we're going to see on this full length, or all fresh stuff?
I think keep it fresh, right? Might as well. There's no real reason to repeat it. Let those things stand alone. And then, have you guys been listening to anything, any new metal that you've found? Any new metal? Like newer music, metal music? Have you guys been listening to new metal? What do you guys hear today?
I'm jamming out to Electric Funeral still. Pantera's always in my rotation. I don't care. Metallica, of course. I mean, not really much of new stuff, really.
Yeah, I haven't discovered any brand new bands, I don't think, but I recently am late to the game on Knocked Loose.
Oh, dude, cool.
Turnstile.
Yeah, I really love their new EP. It's not new, but their latest EP.
Right.
And then the new Comeback Kid album is good. But yeah, I haven't I was just talking about this with my buddy who's in the studio with me. I just haven't been doing a good job at finding new music in the last 6 months. I just haven't been.
Sometimes
looking.
It feels like a job, right? And sometimes it just happens.
Right.
Like, for instance, I just found I'd heard their name, but I read them about them on a Reddit thread. The Sawtooth Grin just released something called Good. It's an album. It's 22 minutes long, and they hadn't released anything since 2004. And it's one of those albums that for the past week I've just been kind of excited to throw my earbuds in and go take a walk and listen to it.
Oh wow!
Which is
I'm adding it to my library now.
Check that out. The that feeling, right? You know what I mean? Being oh, I'm stoked to go listen to this.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Turnstile. I guess I call them Turnstile. Maybe Turnstile. They're good. I like them.
Turnstile.
Yeah, they're fucking awesome.
I can't believe
Uh,
how big that band has gotten. Like, good for
how
them.
crazy
It's fucking
that is. Yeah.
awesome. So cool.
It's like, I think I want to say they're from Louisville, but don't hold me to that. I think I'm
I'm
for
not sure
sure.
where they're from. I just know they're going on that Blink-182 tour. And that's
Yeah.
fucking
Oh, word.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
What it is it like it's punk music?
Punk,
Oh, dude,
hardcore.
check them out.
I will. I
You'll
don't even know it.
You would be into it. Like, you would definitely be into it. It's cool.
It's so
Okay,
many
great.
It's different. It's like very original.
Yes,
Stoked.
it's
Okay,
like
cool.
it's like so many different influences of music into one song. That's the only thing I can
Okay,
describe.
Okay.
This EP was recorded in 5 days. What was it like being in the recording studio, guys? If you guys were to have this done in 5 days, I mean, did you think it'd take that long to record this and put it out, or no?
That was wild because like a lot of it was just on the spot. It was very rare that we had, like a freestanding structural idea in place. I mean, shoot, even one night we got to Brooklyn and Mike like played us a voice memo of him like basically humming a part, like humming a metal part, and we ended up doing that one. And I think that might have been Quit While You're Ahead, but that's where a lot of this was. It was like, okay, let's just go. And Mike engineering and running the sessions on it, he was like running between the control room and the live room, making up guitar parts as Kevin and I, like we're kind of getting a lot of the structures down of whatever. But like I said, I can't say it enough, Kev being able to like just grip odd time signatures and know where like a blast beat should go and stuff like that just made it so much smoother, to get these ideas down quickly. You know what I mean?
Can you really?
It was, yeah. I know.
Yeah. Riff talk.
He's like, and he was like, yeah, exactly, riff talk. And he was like, I was like about to fall asleep and it came into my head. So he's like, I grabbed my voice memo and recorded it. I was like, it sounds like that.
What led the track Freight Train to be the first song released off this EP, guys? What was it about that song that said, yeah, that's got to go out first for us? Or was it just the only song recorded at that time? Well, let's go with it.
That's precisely it. It was the only song recorded at that time. But we were just stoked to be, in the studio together and doing it too. So we were just like, let's keep lighting this fire. Then if we have it, let's just keep doing it. But we did agree that we were going to make this EP. We were like, because we got in the studio just to, be like, okay, let's record. But then that was kind of where we were like, let's, make it our business to get a fucking EP together.
So were these songs that were left off the previous EP or left in the vault possibly, or no?
No, there's only like one like vault song. I don't even know if it's properly recorded in any regard. I think there might be like a live room mic on it. That's something that I would like to explore. This one tune, and the tune's like a minute and 10 seconds long, but she goes. She goes. So yeah, these were all just straight up fresh ideas, like essentially off the top of the head.
Joe, before I forget, I want to ask you this, to throw this in here, because you mentioned earlier before we started that this album is with a new record label or with your record label or something. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so me and a few friends of mine, actually, they approached me and asked me if I wanted to be part of this like a few years ago before the launch. So we've had this label called Kill Iconic Records for, really, it's been active for a little over a year. So really excited to kind of be, part of the start of something, and to be able to kind of cultivate sort of a family kind of feel with, our fans kind of dictating what, not necessarily dictating, but we know what our fans want to hear, and we want to expose them to different stuff as well, if that makes sense. Like, we have a fan base just because of our own individual endeavors, and being able to kind of help cultivate that experience for everyone is really exciting, which is really why I'm happy about the Mayor too, because they're kind of the first venture into this. This is a style of music that we have wanted to get into, or that we all really love, and we wanted to like bring into our family since we started the label. So as soon as we heard it, that's what we wanted to do,
Was there a track, guys, that you were working on for this EP that totally ended up sounding different than what it was intended to? Was there one that just kept changing for you guys, or no?
No. To be honest, yeah. Short answer, yeah.
Okay.
No, it was almost the opposite. And then especially, like, I was hearing them, before Joe had gotten on him, and once Joe got on and the low end was there and everything, it all became more solidified, I think. Interestingly enough. I know what you mean, though, too, John, how things can change in that way. I mean, especially with something like this that almost seems so fluid between parts and this and that. But it was, I'd say we hit the nail on the head pretty well for what we were going for. Which I'm very excited about also.
Were there any songs, though, that didn't make this EP that you guys are keeping back, possibly, or no?
I don't think so. I think we straight up went in and just SEAL Team Six'd it.
So for both of you, I know these are your babies, but are there any tracks standing out more to you guys than any right now, possibly? I know that's like picking your favorite car, or your favorite mansions, or whatever, but
on this EP,
yeah.
I mean, I have favorites, but like not ones that necessarily like mean more to me anyway. If that makes sense.
I don't know. Yeah, if we're going favorites, Acropolis or Quit, they kind of like go neck and neck for me. You know what? I also think, yeah, Quit's cool. And she's a little shouty,
Yeah.
I think, and it's interesting. Like I really enjoy the song sequence of the EP, which in metal music I've always been very particular about. When it comes to listening to albums in general, I guess I love the idea of which song goes where.
Mm-hmm.
People don't pay attention to that enough anymore.
I know it's a fact. You're so right about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think songs fit in it's like a roller coaster for the album. I think any EP, anything, you've got to have those songs that flow with each other. And you're so right. I mean, everything to me needs a flow on an album. I think Megadeth's Countdown to Extinction album is perfect. That's just me personally. I think that whole album and song just like flows down and keeps on going. But you're right. There's so many songs and albums I see go out that I'm just like, where's it going?
Right.
What's it doing?
Right. This was one I think Mike did the final sequencing of the songs. And I had thought about it while we were making it, what would go where, and I didn't really get a solid personal idea of what would go where. Embarrassingly, when we came out with our first EP, I had it in the wrong sequence and had been listening to it that way for like a couple months before I looked at the release that we had put out on Bandcamp, and was like, oh, which was weird. And like hearing the songs in a different way, it's funny. It's almost like it's a different baby almost. You know what I mean? It's weird. Maybe it's just me, but
no, I agree. I get it.
So
who produced this album, guys? Was it in-house, or did somebody actually come in and help produce on this?
Mike Abiuso from the Mayor did all the production start to finish.
What do you guys hope that everyone takes away while listening to these new songs, or just any of the Mayor's music in general? What do you hope they get from it, guys?
I hope it just lights a little fire for them, that they enjoy it. Like, you know what I mean? That's the most that I could ask for, I guess.
Yeah, and listen to it loud. It has to be loud.
Yeah, and listen to it fucking loud, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good tip. Tip from the top.
Like I said, man, I love Freight Train. I love it. It's a great song. I can't wait to I'm going to pick this album up. I keep calling it album EP. We'll pick this EP up, and man, I'm very excited about this. There's a lot of new albums that's coming out, but I definitely want this one for sure. And I got to know this though, for the both of you. I know you guys have a lot of music that you still listen to this day, but do you have just that one go-to album or song that you got to go back and listen to? You can't kick it out. You've got to say, I got to listen to this. Finally, I got to go.
Wow, Joe, you want to go first? That's so hard, John.
It's very difficult, and I know this answer probably surprises most people, but I want to say the album Mad Season by Matchbox 20.
Wow.
I listen to that album at least once a month, I think.
Woo! That made me do a flare woo on that one.
Yeah, Rick.
Wow. That's a good one. I love it.
That kind of like threw me off a little bit. I have to come back down on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Matchbox. Okay. Or James, what about you?
This is wild. Honestly, I mean, the album that's still, like, if you were to say album from sequencing and all that I would still return to would be Deloused in the Comatorium by the Mars Volta.
Did you see any of the shows when they were out on the East Coast?
Dude, no, I didn't. And I'm like, I was really busy at the time, and I was like, I didn't love that new release, but I mean, I appreciated it. You know, it's like, you don't need to get mad. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
But I should have fucking known. I should have known. And it's funny, I should have known that they're the type of people that would be like, because in my head, I was like, I don't really want to go watch that live that badly. And then they were like, oh, we're going to play like basically Deloused start to finish with like some of our better songs peppered in. I'm like, and my friends went and saw and said it was incredible.
I didn't get to go, but I had friends that went multiple nights.
Yeah, I really wish that I did, because I've spoken to a few people and all of them were like, it was incredibly tight.
Yeah.
All right, folks. The Mayor's Live at the Acropolis is out right now. You want to pick this bad boy up and give these guys a fair shot. So how can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy this EP, merch, all that good stuff from the Mayor? How can they do that?
Are you pointing at me?
I'm like, whom? I think so, yeah. Right?
Yeah, I mean, everything is out on all streaming platforms now. That's the easiest way to find it. So just go Spotify, search the Mayor Live at the Acropolis, and then I'm not sure what our socials are, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah,
what is it like?
The Mayor.
Do you have to look it up?
Yeah, it's really funny because Kev. Yeah, I do, because Kev's the one. Kev's the one who runs it.
I will have all that in the interview, guys. I will have your back.
Okay, so there will be it will be in the thing then.
It will be in the podcast, folks. Don't worry.
Right here.
Right near. Before I let you guys go, would you do a promo for my show?
Sure.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Joe.
And this is James. We're from the Mayor, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour, the illest show ever.
Everybody, stick around. Thanks for tuning in, and great stuff coming up for you guys and gals. And please get out and pick up the Mayor's EP Live at the Acropolis. And please subscribe to BODS Mayhem Hour. Get that notification bell going. Get all these subscribers so that way I can get more big interviews on here and everything. But hey, you know what? I love every interview that I do. So thanks to every one of you guys for tuning in. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, John. Thank you.
No problem. See you next time.
to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.